Back with another Savage stream. Thanks to everyone tuning in and checking out my videos. Thanks to everyone liking, sharing, subscribing, all that cool stuff. You guys are awesome. Hopefully the sound is good. Hopefully the video is good. I'm on like my third drink, so I'm pretty good. I actually have a new one for you guys because I don't have any Fireball. That's why I didn't do like a Fireball Friday. Let's go with I think this is called a Brave Bull, and it is Kahlua, tequila, and cream. But I just use milk because I don't, I'm poor. I don't have cream. So Kahlua, tequila, and milk or cream. Yeah, super good. All right. So anyway, I'm feeling all right. Hope everybody is doing okay tonight. Normally tonight is the Crypto Fireball Friday. We usually do drinks and, talk about crypto and stuff, but, Ravencoin's been doing pretty well this week. And I figured that from what I'm seeing, like people don't even understand like what Ravencoin is about. So I kind of wanted to go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the basics and figure out exactly what Ravencoin is all about, and that's kind of like where this video was going. So it's kind of what I wanted to cover. So let me see what's going on in the chat over here. What's going on, guys? What is up, Red Panda? What's up, Brandon? Garrett? Max? What's up, man? Speaking of Max, I need to do that whole MOTD watch command. So last night's stream, we were trying to do, we were mining with multiple projects on the same rig, right? So I think we had Raven, ETC, and Zelcore going all at the same time on the same rig, on one rig. And if you go into HiveOS and you just launch the shell in a box, I don't know if it's just because there was more than two miners or what, but I couldn't switch between all the way to the third miner. So there's three different miners running. I could not switch to the third miner. I could switch between the first and the second, but not the third. And Max Voltage was in there, and he was like, "Hey, try this command." But I was typing it in Linux, case matters. So I was typing it in capital letters, MOTD watch, and it's got to be in lowercase letters. So I wanted to kind of show you guys that real quick before we get started. But let's go ahead and do this. Now I'm not mining multiple things here, but it should still come up and show you what the screen looks like, and it makes it super easy to switch between the different screens. So it's MOTD watch, enter. So you see right here how it says one Phoenix miner. If there were more than one miner running, then it would have a 2 and then the other miner and then a 3. Like if you had 3 miners running, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go back and watch last night's video because this might not make any sense. But last night we were mining multiple projects on the same rig. So we had a screen where we wanted to switch between the different miners that were running, and that's what this is for. MOTD watch. Super cool. Thanks to Max Voltage for pointing that out. It makes it super easy. Yeah, super easy. I like it. So you just press 1 on the keyboard or 2 on the keyboard or 3 on the keyboard to switch between the different miners right here. Makes it real easy. All right. So what I kind of want to do is actually start at the beginning of Ravencoin and what Ravencoin is all about. Now, Ravencoin, I mean, the base, like if someone was to ask you, okay, so what is Ravencoin? Basically what you would say is Ravencoin is a blockchain and platform optimized for transferring assets such as tokens from one holder to another. So they've got it broken down a little bit more concise than that in general terms, but that is basically the goal of Ravencoin. And what's really cool about Ravencoin, in case you didn't know, is that this is protocol level stuff. So this is not like layer 2. This is not something that's added on top of an existing blockchain. This is a fork of Bitcoin that is, the asset layer is in the protocol. So it's protocol layer, or the asset capability is in the protocol, the protocol layer, the layer 1, and it's built into that layer. So the capabilities are pretty astounding if you think about what's going on in the world right now, not world, but the crypto world right now with DeFi and all that stuff. So what I wanted to do tonight was just go very briefly over how to create an asset, because that's one of the main goals of Ravencoin. Yes, it is a peer-to-peer electronic. It's not an electronic cash system. They say right here, you can see it clear as day on their white paper, a peer-to-peer electronic system for the creation and transfer of assets. And they've done this in such a way that it's considered quote-unquote SEC compliant, securities tokens compliant. So if you do create something on here like a security token, you should be good as far as being compliant with the Howey test and all that stuff that goes on when determining whether or not your asset is a security or not. Now, you can break the rules by having investors, assume that you're going to do some level of work on the other end, right? Whenever they buy your token or whatever. But in general, this project, Ravencoin, is built around being compliant. Now, that's further down the road. What I wanted to do was kind of create a main asset, and we're going to build on this. And what's crazy right now, guys, this is nuts. But with Ravencoin going basically, for the most part, parabolic here lately. Let's see what's going on right now. Yeah, up 55%, 17 cents. That's like the highest it's ever been. That's definitely an all-time high. I mean, maybe not all-time high, but let's see, 17.9. So very close. Okay, so it's dropped a little bit from the absolute all-time high. But this is some crazy stuff. But what is kind of also crazy about this is that when compared to Bitcoin, it's really not. It's not near its high. Okay, so I think it's at 306 sats, right? You're gonna catch me lying, but I think that their all-time high as far as sats goes was about 1800, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys can do the research much faster than me on a live stream. I think that it's 1800. It could be less than that, but nonetheless, it's definitely more than 306. Okay, so whatever that number is significant, because this means that, man, there is some room for Raven to run here. And what's funny, not funny, haha, but funny, not even ironic. I don't know what the right word is. But right now it costs essentially, let's see if because to create a main asset, it's 500 Raven. So 500 Raven, let's do some math. I'm not going to be able to do this live. So give me a second here. Let me fire up the calculator. And we'll go 500 Raven times, what is it right now? Almost 18 cents, 17.3. We'll call it 17.3. What am I doing? That's not right. Does that mean it's 80? Math and me live is not good. Did I do that right? 0.17. That's what I did wrong. 0.173 times 500 equals, okay, so it's 86, almost $87 to create a main asset in USD value, right? That's crazy, because it wasn't that long ago that it was like $5. And I can remember doing videos whenever we were just getting into, not whenever we were just getting into Ravencoin, but throughout the last 3 years, because they launched in 2018. I can remember doing videos and saying like, hey, if we were doing a Raven video, I was saying like, right now is the time to create your assets if you want assets, because it's super cheap, from a USD value standpoint. Oh, thanks, Chump Change. Thanks so much, man. Awesome. I can't see what you said here. Hang on, let me get over here in the main window. Let me see what you said, sir. Yeah, smash those likes. It is a Good Friday. It's definitely a Good Friday. So even back then I was saying, hey guys, if you want to create assets on the Ravencoin network, you need to do it now, because at the time it was like 2 cents or 1.5 cents or something like that. And as far as like, you know, the value of Ravencoin, so it was super cheap. Could have been $5, $7, $8 to create an asset. Now it is $87. That is crazy. That is insane. All right. And I can remember me and Red Panda Mining, me and Brandon Coin, me and I know I'm saying that wrong, but me and the Technicals and I, and Serpent X Special Forces and I, we've all done like collaboration videos on Ravencoin assets. And whenever we were doing them, it was pretty cheap, you know, to do an asset. So we did it on the live net, on the mainnet. I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to throw away $87 on an asset just to show you guys. I mean, I love you guys, but I'm just not going to do it. So I've fired up like the testnet. It's probably the way we should have been doing it to begin with, because you know it's basically free. So not basically, it is free. So we should have probably been doing that to begin with. But anyway, so Guild War. We're going to take this super slow, and this is going to go, we're going to go one step at a time. And tonight we're just going to create a main asset, just the main asset. We're going to talk about what that means, and we're going to look at what it means, like on an Explorer. We're going to look at so essentially what you have to do is kind of like just let your imagination run wild, because what an asset could represent could literally be anything. Now, what we're going to start with is like a business. Like, let's say we were going to start the SavageMine GPU hosting business or something, right? So, or SavageMine in general. Now, I already have the SavageMine token on the actual Ravencoin network, and I think the mainnet, and I believe I want to say I paid about $20 for the asset at the time. It was definitely in 2018, when it was at the end of 2018, like November time frame, whenever I created it. And so I have that. There was some mistakes I made with the creation, but we're going to go through that, talk about that a little bit. Not a mistake, but I wish I would have done it a little bit different than I did. What's kind of cool is, you know, Bitsby Trippin is a super supporter of Ravencoin, and I can remember watching him way back in 2018 when Ravencoin was just getting going, and people were asking him like, hey, you know, why exactly are you mining Ravencoin? Like, what's so great about it? You know, I remember watching those videos and him talking about it. It's like it's the closest you can get to Bitcoin without actually being Bitcoin. It's like mining Bitcoin back in the day, right? Now, I'm not saying that Ravencoin is going to go to 50,000. That's not likely, okay, because of the economics built into the protocol or built into the network. It's not likely that it would ever be that much. But what I'm saying is, what he was saying was that it's raw. You know, it's like it's a fork of Bitcoin, and here it is, and it's protocol layer stuff, and it's not. There's no IPO. There's no pre-mine. It's a community ran project. So there's a lot of pluses to this thing. Especially if you're like into crypto and you believe in the crypto fundamental values, you know, of decentralization and all that stuff. They've had a struggle a little bit. Ravencoin has with ASICs on the network. You know, they had ASICs on X16R. I think they had ASICs on X16R V2 once they forked to V2. Now they are probably pretty good because they're on CawPow. You know, they love that X16R algorithm. I know Tron Black and the main developers loved it because they created it for this network, for Ravencoin. So it was like near and dear to their heart. But once the ASICs kind of got a hold of it, I mean, there's really nothing that they can do. They needed to do what they did, which they tried with V2 That didn't work. Then they had to just switch over to Copal, and there you go. Red Panda, what are you doing, sir? Dude, you and Son of a Tech killed it. That was awesome. Yeah, all this is all insanity to me. All of this is craziness. The mining, I can't tell you. I sold some RX 580s earlier in the year, last summer, right as COVID was hitting and all that stuff was really going crazy. I sold too many RX 580s. I should not have. Man, I regret that so much. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But yeah, you guys are awesome, man. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the super chats. You guys are great. But back to Ravencoin. So let's see, where was I? You got me off track. See, that's what happens. A little scatterbrain. You guys distract me with the chat and super chats and stuff, and then I lose my train of thought. But anyway, so we are going to create a main asset. So what I need you guys to do is in chat, tag me. Let's see, Guild War said something. That's right. Guild War. Oh, understanding assets. So we're going to go through it. We're going to start at the beginning. I'll show you where to get the wallet, show you how to launch the testnet. That's what we're going to do tonight. I already have it up and running, but I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll go from there. That'll be cool. All right. So, but what I need you guys to do is we need to think up a name for our business or our project or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So throw into chat. Make sure you do like a hashtag or tag me so that I see it. I've got it up and it is distracting me, but throw into chat like what you guys would like to see the name of our token, of our top level, our main asset. So this is like think of this as basically a business name, okay, is the easiest way to look at it. So we're going to look at a business name on the Ravencoin network. We're going to create a token, we're going to create a main asset, and then we're going to build from there. We're going to create unique assets. We're going to create basically like security tokens for it. We're going to create sub assets, all kinds of cool stuff. So think of it as like Apple or Google or Alphabet, right? And then Google underneath that as a sub asset, whatever, however you want to think about it. But just think, let's come up with some names, okay? So that I can kind of look over there and figure out, okay, which one do I really want to create? Now I'm not going to do this on the main net. This is all test net. So let's look at how we're going to do this, because you guys can actually participate in this. If you guys download the Ravencoin desktop wallet or any asset aware wallet, then we can actually you can participate in this whole exercise here. Okay, so this whole scenario could play out across all the viewers, everybody that's over here, everybody that's in chat, anybody who wants to do this can participate, because we're going to be issuing assets and we're going to be sending assets to other people. And we've done this in the past. I did it with HashRaptor. I think I want to say I created HashRaptor's main asset as well, and that was whenever it was pretty cheap. I want to say it was like $10 or something like that at the time, but $87 is insane. I mean, I love to see it, but this is something that has concerned me about Ravencoin being super valuable, right? Is the cost to create an asset, but we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. So anyway, throw into chat, tag me with names. Pocket Change is that's a good name, actually. I like that. So tag me over there with some names, and I'll kind of pick one. I like Pocket Change. That's kind of cool. Oh my gosh, Red Panda, what are you talking about, dude? Are you drunk? Because, I mean, who's going to babysit whenever this happens? What are y'all talking about over here? You guys are crazy. All right. Settle down in chat, Red Panda. Good grief. Okay, so I don't want to go too long here. What we'll have to do is we will go over to the Ravencoin.org website. So it's Ravencoin.org, and this is how you can kind of participate in this whole thing. If you don't have a, well, then y'all have to get a hotel room, chump change. I mean, someone's got to watch the kids during this. You can't have the kids around during this whole thing. So, yeah, fix it. All right. So you go to Ravencoin.org, and again, if you don't have the desktop wallet or an asset-aware Ravencoin wallet, then shame on you. Go and get one. All right. So you go to Ravencoin.org. Again, you can participate in this if you do this. I'll show you how to launch the testnet and all that stuff. So we'll go to get your wallet. Depending on your platform, I'm going to choose Windows. And then we're going to download the wallet, and then we would install it. Now, I'm not going to really go through the wallet install. I've done this a bunch of times. So if you are curious about how to install the wallet on a desktop, on a Windows 10 desktop, then just look at my channel, search for wallet video. I think I've got a playlist that is Ravencoin. So in there's going to be plenty of information about wallets. I've done tons of videos on wallets. So just watch any of those and you'll be good. But anyway, so you download the wallet, install it, then you launch the wallet. And once you launch the wallet, you will hopefully synchronize it. All right, so it needs to be synchronized. Let me pull this over here. I'm going to look for just a second here. So whenever you extract it, you're going to look for something like this. And I think the current version is 4.3.2 for Raven. So you'll go in there. There'll be a bin directory, which is binaries. You'll go there, and then there's Ravencoin-QT. That is the wallet. So that's what you'll launch. But in our case, we need to launch testnet. All right. So we don't want to launch the mainnet wallet for our exercise because we want to use the testnet. So the testnet is like a parallel network, uses a different port number and all that good stuff to be able to test network functionality or Ravencoin functionality on a test network and not affect the main net, the one that actually has value. Okay, so everything on testnet does not have value for the most part. So you're probably looking right here at 2.8 million Raven. That's not real Raven, that is testnet Raven. Okay, so yeah, so you can kind of see what's going on here. But this is testnet, and whenever you launch testnet, what you want to do, I'm going to close this wallet for a second here. So whenever you have, now there are some folks that never want to launch a testnet wallet on the same machine that has the mainnet wallet. I don't see what the real problem is because it creates its own directory. As long as you kind of halfway know what you're doing, then I think you'll be okay. You'll be safe to do this. But if you're worried about it at all, just launch testnet on a different computer if you have a different computer, or I don't know if you can do it on mobile. I guess you could do it on mobile. But anyway, so just do it on a safe machine. Be safe about it, right? I guess I don't even know what to tell you guys, but I don't see a problem with it. But I read some things where people were like, I lost coins because I have the Raven testnet wallet on the same machine as mainnet, and I'm like, how does that happen? But whatever. So what you'll do is you will create a shortcut to the QT wallet. Okay, so you'll go like right click, create shortcut. So now you have a shortcut here. You can copy that shortcut out to another location like I've done here. I'm going to paste that. Then you're going to edit. So you're going to right click on the shortcut, go to properties, And then for the target at the end here, you're going to put a space, a dash, and then type in testnet, just like that. So that is it. That's all you do. And then you click apply, or you can click OK, because OK assumes apply. All right, so if you click OK, you're good. And then we'll just call this one testnet 2 or testnet YouTube. Sounds good to me. All right, and you can see it's not running down here, so I'm going to launch it. So whenever it launches, you'll see it's not going to let me show you this. Maybe it will. Okay, there you go. So see how the Raven looks green, and it's got green and purple instead of the orange and blue and yellow or whatever the colors are. This tells you that it's in testnet, plus right here it says testnet. So at that point, you should be pretty confident that you're in testnet. It says testnet up here as well. Okay, so now you know that you are in testnet. And you can see I don't have any assets created because they would be listed here. I do have Raven in here, but testnet Raven. If you don't have any Raven, there are ways of getting it. For one, you could just contact me. I could send you some testnet Raven. Okay, I have plenty here. So that's one way. You could go to mangofarmsassets.com, I think. There's actually not Mango Farms. I think it was, I would have to look, but there was some resources for like a faucet where you could just plug in your Ravencoin testnet address and it would give you 500 or 5,000 Raven or something every 10 minutes or every hour or something. I don't remember what it was, but you don't really need that much to do some testing because the assets aren't that expensive. But I would say you need about 10,000, maybe 20,000 total. And again, if you need them, just send me your testnet address and I'll send them to you. Okay, so that's the way that works. So what we need to do, I know I'm kind of going long here. I'm rambling a little bit. You guys are not even coming up with names or nothing over here. All we've got is, what did we get? We got chump change, right? Is that the or pocket change? Is that the only one? What did we decide? Pocket change. Okay. Okay, that's the only one. All right, guys. All right. ABMNS. We are, yeah, the chat has gone completely off the rails over here from what I can tell. The best I can tell, it's going insane over here. All right. So let's go in here and we need to create a, what did we decide? Pocket change? Thanks, Rondi. Thanks so much, man. Let's see what you said. Yeah, thanks so much for showing the love, sir. Much appreciated. All right, so let's go with, all right, pocket change sounds good. All right, so we're going to create an asset. This is just the very first step. Remember, we're going to go through all the different capabilities, functionality of Ravencoin, and we're going to get all the way into like DeFi, okay? Because technically, I said this about Conceal Network, and it's the same for Ravencoin. They were kind of DeFi before DeFi was even a thing. And Ravencoin specifically is focused on, you know, the assets, the tokens, and being compliant with the Howey test and SEC and all that stuff. So it's a good platform to build on, right? And anyone can build on it. So it's good for those purposes. And we're just going to start with the main asset. We're going to call it Pocket Change. Sounds good to me. So this should be super fun. All right. So let's go through the steps of, I'm just making sure, yeah. All right, pocket change. All right, let's go to create assets. So let me back up a little bit. So once you install the wallet, the testnet wallet, you launch it like this. It's going to take some time to synchronize. It'll probably say something like, I want to say that if you launch it initially and you've never synchronized it, it's going to take some time because it's 3 years. It's got to synchronize 3 years of data. Okay, so blockchain data. So you're just going to have to let it launch it, and let it rock, and let it download the whole blockchain. You'll see like syncing information down here. You can tell mine's already synced because I got the little check mark over here. So Mine's good to go, up to date and all that stuff, but your mileage is going to vary definitely if you've never launched testnet at all. And whenever you do launch testnet, whenever you launch it like that, it will create this testnet 7 folder right here. And this is where your blockchain data and your wallet and all that stuff is. Right here's your wallet. So this is testnet. Okay, so this is where the data is going to be stored, the assets and all that junk. Okay, so that's the way that works. Whenever you launch it with that testnet switch at the end of the executable, that's what happens. All right, so let's go ahead and create an asset. So we're going to click on create an asset. You have to, I think you have to wait on a full sync to be able to do this. I don't think you can create an asset before you are fully synchronized. I get comments sometimes. There was one comment recently about, hey, what's going on with the Ravencoin network? I can't transfer my coins out of my wallet. And I was just like, it sounds like you've got an unsynced wallet, you know, right? Because that's typically the issue, is like people fire up these wallets and they haven't started them in a year, and then they want to move the coins because the coins are pumping and they want to sell them really quick, and they're not waiting on the wallet to synchronize. Well, in order to spend crypto, you have to have a synchronized wallet. That's the way it works, guys. I mean, you know, you can't spend coins or send coins out of a wallet that's not synchronized. That doesn't make any sense, because it's blockchain, right? I mean, I know I'm kind of going off here, but that's the way blockchains work, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. We are going to create a main asset, and you can see here that it costs. This is another function of Ravencoin that's kind of cool, because the main asset costs 500 Raven. Now, what does that mean? Who gets that 500 Raven? You know who doesn't get it? Anybody, because it gets burned. That goes to a burned address, so that is taking 500 Raven out of circulation. So if you're familiar with supply demand and all that cool stuff, that the tokenomics of blockchain networks, then you know that whenever you burn coins, that's kind of a good thing, because it decreases the supply, right? So there you go. So it burns 500 Raven to create a main asset. So the name of the asset is going to be Pocket Change, right? Is that what we decided on? Pocket Change. Let's see if that's available. So it's got to be all caps. It's green over here, which means that it's probably available. I'm going to check availability. It does say valid asset. That's good. So we are creating Pocket Change. Quantity is 1. You can leave it at that. Okay, it sounds crazy. You know, normally you would put something like 21 million or something in here, right? If you're going to be like Bitcoin, and that's kind of what I did. I think for SavageMine, I think I put in 21 million. But anyway, so you can do 1. Units is your decimal place. I don't know how far it'll go, but it looks like 8. Being a fork of Bitcoin, it looks like 8. I'm not going to do that for the main asset. We're just going to crank that down to 0. So we're going to deal in full coins here, or full tokens. The reissuable means that you could reissue this asset, meaning reissue it to the blockchain, re-identify it, and change the quantity and the units. So if you leave this checked right here, if you leave reissuable checked, then you can actually change the quantity and the units for this asset in the future if you want to. So if you were creating an asset to sell potentially, right? Because that's something that happened initially whenever Ravencoin first went online and the assets first went online in November of 2018. Then there were people, it was almost like the old days of squatting on URLs, you know, like the domain names. Whenever the internet was first cranking up, some of you might remember, some of you might not, but yeah, there were people that would buy domain names, and they still do this from time to time, I guess, but they would buy domain names. Especially back then, it was like the 3-letter domain names, 4-letter domain names, all those that were still available. They would buy those and then squat on them, basically meaning that they own them, and then they would offer it up for sale, right, to someone, you know, take offers and all that stuff. Anyway, so it was kind of like that with Ravencoin initially whenever they first launched. assets, you had people actually going in there and squatting on people's names. Let's see, I'll give you an example, all right? So, I know I'm going way over. I'm going way over, sorry. So here's something that I did. Whenever Ravencoin assets, I know Bitsby Trippin is going to kill me because I always, anytime I talk about Raven, I talk about this. Sorry if you've already seen this. But the day that it went live, which was, I think it was November 5th of 2018. That's whenever the video date was. I got home from work and I'm like, hey, I know that Bitsby Trippin is a big Ravencoin fan, you know, a Ravencoin supporter. So I'm going to make sure that he gets that Bitsby Trippin asset is what I was thinking. And so I sat down, got home from work, sat down, and I did the search like you'll see here. I was like, all right, I'm going to search for BBT. And I think I searched for BBT, and that one was already taken, okay? So asset name already in use, and this is on the mainnet, okay? So I put in Bitsby Trippin. I don't know why that's not the right name. So I put the S in there, and I was like, holy crap, it's available. He hasn't registered this yet. So I was like, all right, I'm going to check. I'm going to check it. I checked it. It was a valid asset. I could have grabbed it. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I would have just transferred it to him, just like I did with Red Panda Mining, just like I did with HashRaptor and SerpentX and Brandon Coin. I would have just transferred it to him for nothing, right? I wasn't trying to squat or steal it or anything like that. I was just making sure he got it. And luckily, he did get Bitsby Trippin asset. So I ended up not getting it, but he got it. So that's good. So anyway. All right, so that's just a little bit of side action there. All right, so we got reissuable. Now, if we wanted to add IPFS, transaction ID hash, so some people are like, well, good grief, what is that? Okay, so let's say that we wanted to we were creating the pocket change business, okay? So we need a document, or let's say that we had a document that identified exactly what that was. What is, it could be something like a, what is that called? Like a document of incorporation, or what is that called? It's not document of incorporation, whatever that, like if you were incorporated or an LLC or something like that, you could actually generate that document or scan that document or whatever you want to do, and you could attach that as IPFS. And what that is interplanetary file system, and it allows you to store files, data, on a global network that is accessible from anywhere. Now, I said this long ago. Whenever I first started getting into this and I started looking at Ravencoin and how they were going to use IPFS, and I was like, man, if there's one thing made in heaven, it is blockchain technology and IPFS. IPFS and blockchain, specifically in this case, Ravencoin, match made in heaven right there. No doubt. Because what you're able to do is really cool. So, I don't know. Let's see. What are we... Yeah, it's not a 5-year plan. That's not really what I was talking about. I was talking about more like the actual the official documents of the business, either incorporation or LLC or whatever. So whatever the documentation is. So let's see if I'm like going way over, but there's quite a few viewers in here, so I'm going to keep going here. Let's see if let me see if I think that. Yeah, so DCA Adventures Live. All right. We're gonna head over there in a minute. Let me try to get through this. I want to, before we create this asset, I really want to create. I think we can change it later if it's reissuable anyway. So what we can do, let's just do a real quick document. I'm going to, let's see here. Hang on. Give me a second. Don't leave me. I'm working on it. Give me a second. And we're going to change this later. Let me I know you're not seeing what I'm doing. I'm trying to, what I want to do is create a quick document to upload to IPFS. I'd rather it be like finished and not have to reissue, but we'll see how this works here. I got some ideas on how we can do this. Hang on. Hang on a second. All right, let's see here. All right, so what do we call it? We called it pocket change, right? Isn't that right? So we're just going to create a quick document here. We'll say it's articles of incorporation, I think is what the name of it is. Let's see here. What do we got for viewers over here? Let's look at who's in chat. I'm going to put some names on here. We're just going to play this like this. We're going to say, oh, Red Panda Mining was first, looks like. I'm just going to put some names in here as like people that are in on this. They're part of the pocket change organization here. I'm probably not going to be able to get all of y'all because there's like 36 folks in here, so we'll do a few here. Again, we're probably going to change this in the near future anyway, so I'm just trying to get you guys involved. That's all I'm doing here. Don't be offended if I don't include your name. It's not a big deal. We'll fix it. I'm just grabbing the first ones in the chat here. Just a few. All right, we'll do it like this, and then we're gonna save this. Let's see. Pocket change. Ink. Sounds good. File. I think I have to download it as PDF. So I want to change it as into a PDF. Okay. We'll just do it like that. And then what we're going to do is go to global upload. I'm going to click in here. This is the IPFS server, right? Or IPFS service. And then we are going to choose our PDF. Hopefully this is making sense. All we're doing is uploading a document. In our case, it's supposed to be like our official documentation for our corporation is being uploaded to IPFS right now, and what's going to be provided should be like a string of characters that we can put into the asset. Okay, so hopefully this is going to make sense here. If it works. I haven't done this in quite some time, so I don't even know if this still works, so we'll see. We are definitely using pocket change, so that is cool. Yeah, exactly, Red Panda. See, it's really cool, and like right now, if you look at it like this, that Red Panda mining asset is worth $87 minimum, right? Based on current value of Ravencoin. Now, you know, this is kind of like this is what escapes a lot of people. They don't understand like what this means. So let's say that, I'll just give you an idea here, Red Panda, and I think we've talked about this before. Let's say that you wanted to sell, I know you don't want to, but I'm just saying, let's say you wanted to sell portions of your YouTube channel, right? So you could say, all right, guys, I'm going to sell the YouTube channel to investors. Okay. Now, obviously, you have to do your own research on the whole legality side of it and all that. But let's just say that you offered up 1 million Red Panda mining tokens for your channel. Then people could buy those tokens, right, through the Ravencoin network, and you could issue there's lots to it, but I'm just really simplifying it. But people could buy basically shares or portions of your YouTube channel, and then in the long run, you could actually distribute the rewards, the profits. I know you're not going to like this part, but you could distribute the profits to those token holders, right? So that's what it's kind of all about. This is the way that this works, which is what we're going to get into with this whole pocket change asset. Okay, we're going to go, deep into it. We're going to go all the way to, through the whole process. I'm just kind of, I don't know, 50,000 foot viewing it with Red Panda Mining. He could do something like that. That's the long story short. He could do something like that. Yeah. So there's rewards. And rewards are enabled. I think on my stream last Friday, I said that they weren't because it was on the roadmap. It was listed as not completed, but I think that rewards are completed. I haven't tested it, but I think that they are, based on what I'm seeing. So I don't know why this is not working. It doesn't appear to be working anyway. I don't know if maybe I have to log in here. Let me see if a login matters here, because I do have login here. I don't think it would, but we'll see. So what's supposed to happen is whenever you upload to IPFS, you should be given a string of characters that would go into this IPFS hash right here. So it's like a hash function on the file itself. And for whatever reason, this is as far as I can get. It's not going any further than this. So I am thinking that something's not right. That's funny. IPFS Raven RPM. That's Red Panda Mining's security token offering. That's weird. So no one's hosting it, see, because it says page not found, so it wasn't popular. Wow, this is crazy. All this stuff in here from long ago. From long ago. That's funny. The way that IPFS works is like if you've got a document that is not popular, like people aren't hitting it, then depending on the way the IPFS nodes are configured, then they can ignore the file. And that's basically what's happened here, because I mean, this was all testnet stuff and no one was using it, so it's just ignored, right? Yeah, very not popular right here. That's funny. So if your IPFS document isn't popular, or there's ways of getting around it. Obviously, if you pay for services, you can you can make sure that your documents are hosted. But because it's decentralized, if your document is never hit, there's probably like settings of, hey, if this document hasn't been hit in 6 months, then delete it off my server, right? So that's probably the way that it works. So I guess what we'll do is we'll create this asset without IPFS. I'll have to do a little bit of research and maybe find another service for uploading IPFS, and we'll have to do a reissue, which is cool because we've got reissue here. So we'll be able to go through the steps of how to reissue. So let's go ahead and create this pocket change asset here. So I'm just going to click on create asset. You can see here it costs 500 Raven. It's going to be sent to N1 issue asset, which is the burn address. No one has access to that address right there. So I'm going to choose yes. Transaction sent to network, okay. I'm getting notifications about the incoming transactions and whatnot. You can see it right here. The asset was created. Yeah, I charged you 100,000 Raven. Yeah, that's what I did, Red Panda. I don't think I charged you anything, if I remember right. It was my pleasure, man. If things go crazy with your Ravencoin asset, I can always say that, hey, I was the one that created that. So after some confirmations here, let's see, you're going to see like a little, if you click on your transactions, or if you click on this asset right here, you're going to see some question marks. So the question marks are no confirmation. So and this is something that's unfortunate about about testnet itself, is because depending on how many people are actually running it at the time, sometimes the network's not even functioning. Like it might take an hour or 2 hours or whatever to to get confirmation. So not a lot of people run testnet, although I think probably now there's a little bit more because people are testing it, but just keep that in mind. So you might run into a situation where nothing's synchronizing and it seems like things aren't moving, and that's usually the case with whenever there's not very many people running their nodes on testnet, because there's no financial incentive for it at all, monetary incentive at all. So yeah, you got question marks here. This is the asset. This is the admin asset. So the one with the exclamation point after it means that is like the owner of the pocket change asset. That's the ownership token, is basically the way to look at that. And you can see right here, this is the burn, the 500 Raven that are sent to the burn address. And we just have to wait on some confirmations, but whenever we come back, what will happen is you'll see pocket change in here as an asset. It'll be listed right here. But I think that probably what we should do, because I'm going like super long here, we should probably head over to DCA Adventure. I think that is the way forward here, guys. And then we'll pick this up. Tomorrow actually is going to be the previous month's mining reward breakdown for the co-hosted rigs, or the co-owned rigs that I have, that have different people own them, and I just kind of host them, and we go over like the rewards for the previous month. It's usually a pretty good show because it breaks down like electricity costs and all that cool stuff, things that a lot of people kind of overlook sometimes. So I think that it's good. We'll do that probably tomorrow night. I don't know. I know that DCA will probably be live at 10 tomorrow. So maybe right before them. Hey, look, we've got a pocket change asset right here. And this A over here means the administrative asset. So this is the ownership token right here. So we're going to be able to build on this pocket change asset here and do all kinds of cool stuff that we will do over time. So if you guys want to participate, make sure that you download the wallet, you put in that testnet switch to a shortcut so that you can launch testnet, and we'll be doing all kinds of cool stuff with this. I think that this is going to be a cool, like a long-term, video project, I guess you could say. I think it'll be neat. Oh my god. Pocket change killing me over here. Oh my gosh. Thanks so much, man. Or woman. Which one's the wife here? Pocket change, I think, is the wife, right? Am I right? Am I right? Chump change is the husband. Pocket change is the wife. Hopefully y'all got your little situation figured out with Red Panda there. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, thanks so much. I don't even know what to say. Y'all get me all emotional on here. Good grief, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks so much. But yeah, this is going to be kind of neat because you're going to go from here to, you know, everything underneath of here is going to be all pocket change stuff. So it'll be kind of neat probably for you to pay attention to it and watch it. I think it'll be neat. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and head over to, let me get their link here. Head over to DCA Adventure. We're going to head over there and do a Savage raid. So that's DCA Adventure. I know I went like super long tonight, but we had to get this done. We had to get that main asset created. Again, we'll probably reissue it because we're going to want to add IPFS data to it so that we can see how that works. So we'll probably do a reissue. The cool thing is that we're on Traynet. I keep saying Traynet. We're on testnet, and it's not going to cost anything. Like the old days, whenever we were doing this with Brandon Coin and Red Panda mining and stuff, we were doing it on mainnet. So it was actually costing like actual Raven. But at the time, Raven was like 1 cent, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. Now it's a little bit different. All right, guys, stay savage out there. I'm jumping the gun. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out and talking crypto with me. If you thought that this was interesting, educational, thanks so much for the super chats. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Pocket change and yeah, Red Panda. Yeah, I'm getting all emotional. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hit me up in DC Adventures chat. I'll see you over there. And I'll see you tomorrow. Stay savage, everybody. You guys are so awesome.